We are at that point of year that I know many of us are feeling a little burnt out. We may literally be sunburnt, but we may be feeling very burnt out. Howdy neighbor, how is your garden growing? Today, what we're gonna be doing is a lot of garden maintenance. So if you're looking for some garden maintenance motivation, this is the video for you. Or if always you wanna hang out. Today, Ben and I've got so much to do in the garden. We have hours and hours and hours of work. So we're gonna be doing everything that we can to get this front section of the front yard as cleaned up, opened up, mulched down. We're gonna take out one of the papayas, not both. We're gonna be taking out one of the shrubs so that we can actually see the window. We're gonna be, did I say lay a lot of mulch? Pulling weeds. So I'm gonna take you along for this because I know right now, the heat, the humidity, the sun, we're at that point of year that I know many of us are feeling a little burnt out. We may literally be sunburnt, but we may be feeling very burnt out. And if you're feeling burnt out, like that is 100% normal, because the thing is that if you really follow the classic vegetable garden season, you've been going strong since fall. You've been doing your seed starting and getting your winter crops in and then getting your warm weather crops in, and maybe you've gotten hot weather crops in. So if you were up north, this is like almost the equivalent of end of fall. And if you were feeling tired then, wouldn't be surprising. But here in Florida, we get all funky because it's summer and we should be gardening. And it's like, dude, do you remember? We did all that stuff in fall and winter and spring. And now we're wrapping up harvest. If you've been having awesome harvest, now you got a lot of preservation work and you got a lot of cooking to do. So this is like fall for us. So if you're burnt out, that's okay. But if you still got stuff you need to do, let this video be there to help you get motivated to get it done. So before the sun gets really intense and the heat really comes on, we're going to go start moving some mulch. So the kiddos wanted to help. They are very motivated. They have some goals for the summer and they've been looking for ways to earn money. So Ben came up with each scoop is worth 5 cents, and then I made it for the big kid $1 per bucket and the little $2 a bucket. And they are very motivated. They're very motivated to go get the things that they want. And hey, it helps me and it gets some money in their pockets.
10 cents. 1 cent. Yeah.
What's on your list? What are you avoiding right now? Or what are you gonna get done today? Ooh, or watch half this video, say what you're gonna go do it, and then come back and say, I got it done, Jacqueline, and I'm gonna like high five you or high 10 you. in the comments down below, because yeah, it's tough right now. And you're strong if you're going and doing all this stuff right now. This is not easy. This is the hard part.
And I grab some and put it in my bucket.
That's the way too. Like you guys got options here.
Look how fast it is, man.
That is so fast. You're gonna be done with your 2 buckets in no time.
Say hi to the camera. Say hi.
Safety check, safety check.
Okay.
All right, so you can take the rake and start smoothing out all the stuff I laid down.
Daddy, I hear the bell.
Nice squeeze. All right, then you want to take final scoop.
This might be the final, might be.
$10.
As
A lot of times when I'm dumping a lot of mulch, I find it easier just to dump a lot of piles and then spread it out. I've done this enough times that I actually know about how far to space stuff so that I can get the depth that I want. We're doing about 3 to 4 inches. 2 main reasons we're putting so much mulch down right now. One is to knock out the weeds before they take over during the summer, because it's about to get out of control. But number 2 is by putting a lot of this mulch down now in any of the areas that I'm gonna be planting in the fall, I'm actually gonna allow a lot of this mulch to break down by the time we hit fall. In our garden, we have shown over and over again, it takes about 3 inches of mulch, this fresh chip drop type of mulch, about 3 to 6 months for it to be totally broken down. My mistake in the past is I always put it down in fall, so by the time we hit summer, when things really could take over, everything was broken down. So we kind of flipped everything this year. So instead of doing tons of mulch to try to get back into control in fall, we're putting it down at the beginning of summer, end of spring, so that it can break down through the summer, and then we can have some nice fresh soil that's enriched for fall planting. Now the hard part about moving a lot of mulch is if you don't have more than 1 cart, if you don't have multiple pitchforks, if you don't have multiple ways to move, it really means only one person's moving at a time. And while the other person can kind of rake the area, that takes about 5 seconds versus the many, many mounds of mulch that you will be using. So Ben and I try to trade off doing other projects as one is moving mulch. So other things that we're trying to get done is go and get our circle hedge, which I don't know what else to call it, looking nice and neat and tidy, because it's been a while since it's been hedge trimmed. And also, as I'm cleaning up areas, I'm also looking to pull any weeds that are in the area, even though we might not mulch it. I'm looking at things like Brazilian pepper. I'm pulling oaks, carrot woods, which are also a very invasive type of tree. And then I've been finding some of my goldenrod that I'm just moving into the area where I have goldenrod. And some of it might die, but a bunch of it's actually survived. So I'll just keep doing that, because then I don't have to buy new plants. I know I've been talking about it for a while, but that one papaya's gotta go. I could try to cut it in pieces, but then I need a ladder. So because it's had a weak root system since the hurricane, I'm just gonna try tipping it over. And yes, as many chores as we're doing, we are still moving mulch. One of us is always moving mulch. It has been so many hours and hours and hours. This is normal. If you're thinking of doing this, this is totally normal. Actually, one of the tricks that Ben and I've done in past years is that we wouldn't try to do a lot of it in one day. We would just kind of, every day we come home from work, each of us would just move 5 cartloads, and that was it. Because 5 cartloads you could do in like a half hour without totally dying. It was an easy way to kind of pick away at the pile. But you know, we're just trying to really muscle through today. And of course, our Everglades tomatoes are running rampant all over the place. And they're combined with a lot of this, what's it called? Bitter melon. And you can always tell because you can, when you pull it, it has this like nutty smell to it. I guess is the best way to describe it. So it smells fine, but it creates a mess. And honestly, a lot of this is because we've been helping birds. Gosh darn it. Helping birds means you get a lot of invasive species and just things in, and it tends to be under the arches because they like to hang out on the arches and then they just poop seeds right underneath. And oh, we have so much firebush. No one come for me in the comments. I know you could all have some of the firebush, but it's too much effort. So I will just rip it out and throw it down, and it will just be chop and drop. So much rouge plant. This native plant has been awesome. Actually, it does really well in the shade underneath this Ponciana, but I think I even bought it just about a year ago, and it has reseeded insanely, like just so much, which is kind of a good thing, but it's kind of a bad thing. But it's kind of a good thing, but it's not too bad to pull. If I would have pulled it earlier, it would have been easier. Taking out this Linguistrum japonica, I think it's an invasive species. It's a standard kind of shrub plant that a lot of older neighborhoods use. It is blocking a window, and honestly, it's a window I look out when I edit, and I would like to see the garden when I edit, but I can't because this bush has just been blocking it. The only nice thing about it is in like the late winter when the songbirds are migrating north is that we will sometimes get one of them to make a nest in there. Let me clarify. Many years they attempt to make a nest, but they never actually put their eggs in that shrub. So I'm just getting rid of it, and yes. And the other reason I didn't want to get rid of it before was because it was actually providing shade for that window and the office that's in there, which is nice, but it was a southern facing wall, and so that would be too much sun. So I let that shrub stay because I was worried about the sun. But now with this, the golden shower tree, aka Cassia fistula, is now tall enough, it's providing enough shade. So I'm gonna say goodbye to that shrub. Well, I'm exhausted and I'm probably gonna get sunburned soon, so I'm gonna head in. But hopefully this got you motivated to get out there, get in your garden, and make sure it just becomes as beautiful as it should be. And if you just want to avoid it and just hang out, that's totally okay too. You know what you got done down in the comments, and I'll see you soon. Bye.